And Arctic Punch has Blacksburg, Virginia reeling. Thankfully, it's steamy inside Castle Coliseum as Virginia Tech plays host to defending A-10 champion Xavier next. After struggling through a tough early season, Skip Prosser and the Xavier Musketeers have righted the ship. In a game dominated by the backcourt, the Xavier Musketeers, Lenny Brown and Gary Lumpkin form one of the premier guard combinations in the country. Tonight, they travel to Blacksburg for a battle with Virginia Tech's Roland Roberts, one of the most promising frontcourt underclassmen in the Atlantic 10. Calendar has turned to January. That means conference time, and welcome everybody to the Atlantic 10. Tonight, the defending champions Xavier Musketeers take on the Hokies of Virginia Tech. Roland Roberts will be a marked man tonight. He's a guy that Xavier has got to stop this evening. His numbers are so very impressive. Hi again, everybody. Dave Sims along with Dan Bonner. Good to have you with us. And our game tonight features the Xavier club that's on a roll. They've won 4 straight, and one of their constants is James Posey, their second leading scorer, top rebounder. We're talking one of the best players in the country, folks.
Dave, there isn't any question about that. This is a young man who's got really a shot at the next level, and a great shot. Strong work ethic, tremendous athletic skills, good first step to the basket. This is a young man who came off the bench for the most part last year for the Xavier's very fine team. This year, being counted on to do it from the starting lineup. Rebounding has been one of the strong points of his game thus far this year. Second leading scorer, the leading rebounder from the small forward position, leads them in steals. He's had a solid season.
For the Virginia Tech Hokies, they've had some problems scoring. Just 40 points in a loss to UMass Saturday. Lowest point total in 32 years. Ouch. But they do have Eddie Lucas, and he's a guy that he's been pretty dependable for him.
He has been pretty dependable. He's had to be. Virginia Tech is a team that shoots the ball very poorly, but it's almost 16 points a game. Eddie Lucas is one of the best shooters in the A-10. 47% from the field, 89% from the free throw line. He's got to have a good game.
We are glad to have you with us. Action in the Atlantic 10. It's the running Musketeers of Xavier about to battle the tenacious Virginia Tech Hokies here on the Deuce. We're back right after this.
ESPN2's exclusive presentation of NCAA basketball is brought to you by Toyota. Every day belongs to you. Make it count.
We're at Castle Coliseum, Blacksburg, Virginia for an Atlantic 10 contest tonight. The Xavier Musketeers taking on the Hokies of Virginia Tech. Got a nice crowd considering the students are on their holiday break right now. But a good crowd nonetheless. Lumpkin, Brown, Posey, Fry, and Harris starting for Skip Prosser's Xavier Ball Club. And O.B. Harris, since he entered the lineup as a starter, the Musketeers are 4-0. The junior from New York City by way of Bradenton, Florida. It'll be Dunlop, Ray, Lucas, Roberts, and Wheeler for Bobby Hussey's Virginia Tech Club. And for Roberts, second in the conference in block shots, 9th in rebounding. He's off to a real good start. Our officials, Mark DiStaiola, David Day, and Fran Conley, and Virginia Tech on the offensive first.
And Dave, we can't stress it too much. This is where Virginia Tech has struggled. On the offensive end of the court, they've got to find a way to get some points.
It has been a struggle, Dan, 12th last in the Atlantic 10 conference. Wheeler in the corner. The jumper is good. So it's a good start for Andre Ray. He's shooting just 34% from the field. And Tech up 2-0.
And he only scores 2.8 points a game, so that's really good for Bobby Hussey to see Andre Ray stick it from the corner. Man-to-man defense for Virginia Tech.
Down low, here's Posey.
And this is going to be a tough matchup inside for Ray.
Left hand. Oh, Posey with a turnaround with the left. 2-2.
And now you get a chance, or Xavier gets a chance to set their full court pressure. Xavier really likes a frantic kind of game. Make the guy dribble the ball, then try to double team. Nice job by Dunlop.
Dunlop beats it, and Ray hammers one home. Andre Ray off to a good start.
Got to get some easy baskets. That's something Virginia Tech has not done successfully this year. There's a traveling violation on Fry.
Fry stepped on the foot of Roland Roberts. Skip Prosser, 5th year at Xavier.
And Skip Prosser says, no, he didn't step on his foot. He pushed him. Skip does not exactly have an objective, independent view of the matter. Man-to-man for Xavier. You notice Posey matched up against Lucas. That's going to be difficult.
And here's Lenny Brown with a save. Can he save it? No, sir. And the cameraman was, both of them were lucky enough to get out of the way. Second-year coach, head coach here at Virginia Tech. Great career at Belmont Abbey and at Davidson. Long-time assistant here, Bobby Hussey. And Brown ever hustling. How he go the Musketeers. Real emotional leader.
He had an outstanding game against Rhode Island. Scored 31 points, 5 3-point baskets. This is what Dunlop is going to have to be able to handle.
So far, so good. Alley-oop. Roberts, another flush.
Well, that's not too bad, Dave. A team looking for easy baskets, and 2 of their first 3 scores are on dunks. Andre Ray has had a hand in all 3 baskets, scored 2 of them, that time an outstanding assist.
Bobby Hussey's biggest lament to us this afternoon. Heck, we just got to score. And the free throw woes are just incredible. We'll detail them as we go along. Here's Brown. They have forced that one in and out. Rebound was lost by Ray.
Dave, we talked about Virginia Tech struggling offensively, but they've been able to handle the Xavier press thus far. That's just an outstanding play by Ray, but give Dunlop and Wheeler some credit to get it out of the traffic and get it down the court quickly.
Lenny Brown from out the top. Goes strong and out. Good rebound by Ray.
You know, Ray just threw it away.
Posey, 1-on-3.
Stepped out of bounds.
Sure did. And a turnover for the Musketeers.
Dave, I'll tell you what, we were over here earlier in the day, and we were told that Ray was not going to start. He was going to lose his starting job for the first time this season, and he's a last-minute guy back in the starting lineup. I think he wants to keep that job.
It's off to a good start. I think the message got through. Dunlop really having to work against Gary Lumpkin. Dunlop leaves it, and out of the reach of Wheeler. Turnover, Virginia Tech.
These are 2 outstanding defensive teams. Dunlop really the only point guy Bobby Hussey has, and so the harder they make Dunlop work earlier, the more tired he might become as they head down the stretch of this game.
O.B. Harris, here's Fry. Brown up top, missed his first couple.
Virginia Tech, of course, outstanding on the defensive end of the court.
Posey going left again, and he draws the foul. That's a move. I don't remember seeing Posey going so well to his left last year.
Number 4, Roman Roberts.
Posey is being defended by Ray, and Ray gets over there and cuts him off, but that's really a nice spin move. Roberts picks up the foul, and if you're rolling Roberts, you do not want to pick up fouls out on the perimeter. If you're going to help out on the perimeter, you've got to move your feet and get in position, not reach.
James Posey, 16th and 18th in scoring. Shooting 75% from the line. Bobby Hussey and Donnie Marsh.
11-12.
His team has started very well offensively. And there's Ray with another rebound. Ray has been everywhere.
Just 3 minutes. He's done a lot of positive things. Talk about tenacious defender. Lenny Brown will get all over you. Turnover, Virginia Tech.
Bobby Hussey really doesn't want Ray bringing the ball up the court. He would like to get the ball to Dunlop. I think Lumpkin did an excellent job preventing Dunlop from getting back to the ball. So Brown and Lumpkin combining as they have done for so many years, both in high school and now at the college level.
Backdoor cut, lefty layup on the reverse from Lumpkin. Good pass from Fry.
Number 12, Gary Lumpkin for the basket.
And a little hand check. Lumpkin gets nailed for the foul.
Dave, we're talking about the Virginia Tech defense. We've mentioned their struggles on offense, but defensively, you can't be very much better than Virginia Tech has been thus far this year. They lead the Atlantic 10 in field goal percentage defense, and they are second in the Atlantic 10 in points allowed. So they really get after you on the defensive end of the court.
It's a group that's been together for a while. Roberts got a lane, got fouled. Fry gambled, but then there was some help, but a foul was given. Virginia Tech defensive numbers. You gotta like that. First in blacks. Scoring defense second. If they could get the complimentary other side of the picture.
And here's where they have been really not very good at all at the free throw line. Roberts only a 45% free throw shooter, and you know, a guy with his power on the inside. Fry made a mistake probably going for the steal, but just foul him when he goes to the basket. And
45%, missed them both. He's now 18 of 42. Lucas's first touch, Wheeler up top, and he hit it. For Russ Wheeler, averaging 6 points a game.
And he also shoots at less than 40%. And Xavier, they got to be wondering, hey, these guys haven't been able to shoot against anybody. What's the story tonight?
Harris, here's Posey, long range. Missed, kept alive. Fry knocked it off of Roberts' hands. Nice play. Lloyd Price comes into the game. Here's Lloyd, the Super Six man this year. All you old folks out there, yeah, start singing Staggerly. And what was the other song? I'll think of it. Come on, Dan Bonner, you remember Lloyd Price back in the 50s? Here's Lenny Brown. Big rebound to Mr. Ray again.
I wasn't born yet.
Okay, and I got a bridge for you too. Ray up top. It's Dunlop. Roberts wants it down low, being guarded by Posey. Dunlop shoots over the top. Back rim, rebound Wheeler.
And that's been a problem for Xavier this year, and that is rebounding.
Focus, can't get it, and rebound. Here comes Xavier. Price bounced it off his leg. Turnover, Xavier. The first time out of the evening. 15:25 to go. A terrific start by Virginia Tech, a team that has found a hard way to get points, but so far, so good. They lead at home by 3. Virginia Tech by 3. Early going here in Blacksburg, Virginia. Here on the Deuce. Action out of the Atlantic 10. And last year's game here at Castle Coliseum, Xavier was led by Darnell Williams. Finished with a game-high 22 points. He had 8 of 10 from the field. He also scored his 1,000th career point in this game, and Xavier won at 74-63. Sad story is the gentleman in the stripes is Darnell Williams, out with a knee injury, tore his ACL, touring at the NIT All-Stars last summer. And Skip Prosser said he got a call on a Sunday morning early that woke him up. It was Jack Powers from the NIT saying, "Skip, I got some bad news for you." And he says, "The coach, it's like being a parent. It's the last thing you want to hear."
Well, Darnell Williams was Xavier's leading scorer last year. Virginia Tech, we said, shoots the ball only 41%. They're shooting much better than that early in the game.
Darnell Williams has been missed, but Xavier 9-4. They've won 4 straight. And there's another foul as Wheeler went on the offensive.
Dave, one of the problems that Xavier has had thus far in the season is they've really struggled with their inside game. Obi Harris has done a good job since he's been in there, but he hasn't really rebounded the ball very well. And there we get an offensive foul. But Xavier, in their big win against Rhode Island, the Rhode Island front line had 56 points, 31 rebounds, and 10 assists, as opposed to the Xavier front line that combined for 18 points and 14 rebounds, and 13 of those points and 7 of those rebounds were James Posey. So they really have to get some play inside from guys like Fry and Harris if they're going to have the kind of season that they're hoping to have.
You're the coaching staff. You see those numbers and you're screaming, "Uncle, Uncle, we need some help here."
Well, unfortunately, they're not going to get any taller.
That's right. Price takes a look down the lane with 7 on the shot clock. 5. Lumpkin going to let her rip with 4. Doesn't get it. Dunlop rebounds and is able to maintain.
Well, you just have to be impressed with the defensive intensity of Virginia Tech. They really guard you very, very well.
One thing Bobby Hussey, the head coach, had no problems with. He said, "We will guard you, we will rebound." They take it away from Dunlop.
Now, let's also be very clear that they're not the only team out here tonight that plays pretty good defense.
Lenny Brown up top. Got one. That's a triple. And now they're going to say it's a 2. Foot was on the lines. That's why we have 3 referees. David Day saw a foot on the line, so he said it was a deuce. So Tech leads by 1.
That's a pretty good play by Lenny Brown to just take the ball down the court and on the dribble drive the defender back and create enough space where he can score. That's Russ Wheeler standing out there guarding him, and you really don't want Wheeler out there because Wheeler's got to play off of him because Brown will go right by.
Dunlop in a hurry. Got McAfee in the game right now.
This
turnover.
Outstanding defensive effort. Xavier, the last few possessions, has put so much pressure on the ball that Virginia Tech can't run its offense.
Here's your turnover story. Xavier a 2-1 margin, and McAfee's in the game, the sophomore from Saginaw, Michigan. A lot of quicks coming off a big game against Rhode Island. Brown trying to go against Jermaine Kimbrough, number 3.
And that's excellent defense right there.
Hey, what? No free passes. Price leaves it for Posey. Wipe it off. A foul before. They're going to get Lucas on the foul.
Lucas trying to handle that penetration, and Roberts that time did step in and try to take the charge, but Lucas reached his hand out going by.
On the inbound, Brown, and he was hand-checked. They called by Fran Conley, and they said that Kimbrough had way too much hand on him. Let's take a look.
Kimbrough really, right there, he puts his hand in, and basically the end of that play is Brown pushes him off. But when you put that hand in while the guy's going by, the referee sees that you're holding him up and calls the hand check. That was a pretty good call.
Xavier looking to take the lead here. Posey going against Roberts. Leaves for Fry. Oh, he tried to get a crutch inside. The miss by Lloyd Price. A little personality on the boards there, wouldn't you say? Hung in. Who's the other Lloyd Price? Figured I'd worked it in somehow.
Number 4, Roland Roberts, that's his second personal.
We've talked about James Posey and his offensive skills. He's also one of the top assist guys for Xavier. That time Fry just not able to convert, but Lloyd Price, who really does have some athletic ability around the basket.
Lloyd's out of Wilmington, Delaware, as is Brown and Lumpkin.
Delaware has been a fertile recruiting ground for Skip Prosser and his Musketeers at Xavier.
And Lloyd 63% on the line, gives Xavier the lead at 9-8.
And Dave, Xavier has backed off that full court pressure, but they have played so well in the half court that Virginia Tech turning the ball over.
Here's a factor, too. You know what? A turnover on the walk by Kimbrough. You notice one name we haven't called a lot, Eddie Lucas. Lenny Brown's been all over.
Lucas is not the kind of a guy who's going to go and create his own shot, Dave. He's got a guy who's going to get a lot of shots through running the offense, but Lenny Brown, very strong, has been able to limit his ability to get to the spots he wants.
Took an extra hop, gets called for the travel. The ball will go back to Virginia Tech.
Now, Virginia Tech, we showed you, they've shot the ball pretty well, but it's been a while since they've had a shot.
I don't think there's any question about that. I'll tell you what, they're happy to get a look, let alone get the shot off the way this defense is working for Xavier. It's been tremendous. McAfee all over the ball. There's Lloyd Price on Lucas. Roberts up top. That's where way short. Rebounded by Fry.
Xavier will give him that shot every time.
All the time. There's your drought, 324 and counting for Virginia Tech.
But I believe in that time, Dave, they've only taken 2 shots.
Posey baseline, cut off. Bounce it off his foot. Tech ball.
Number 31, Russ Wheeler, returns to the lineup for Virginia Tech. 20-second timeout.
Hey, stay with us tonight here on The Deuce at 10:30 Eastern Time from the Arrowhead Pond of Anaheim. It's National Hockey Night on ESPN2. The Sabres and the Mighty Ducks. First, you'll get to see one of the world's greatest goalies, Dominic Hasek. He'll be facing a real good 1-2 punch in Paul Correa and Teemu Solani. That follows us here on The Deuce, 10:30 tonight from the West Coast.
Dave, and one thing that Virginia Tech is going to have to do is get this man right here, Eddie Lucas, open for some shots. You have commented on the fact that Lenny Brown is doing an outstanding defensive job against him. Brown, 6'2", nearly 200 pounds. Even though Lucas is 6'6", Brown has had the strength to prevent Lucas from going where Lucas has wanted to go.
See if they can spring him free. Kimbrough, almost a mirror image, him going against back.
Now that's a 5-second count. And Kimbrough, a little frustrated with his teammates, telling, hey, you got to move, is what we heard him say sitting right here. And, yeah, they do have to move.
You got to give me something to throw to.
But that's just outstanding pressure on the basketball.
So it's McAfee in the backcourt with Posey, Fry, Lenny Brown, and Lloyd Price for Xavier right now. Posey up top. He's being guarded by Dennis Mims, number 42. Lenny Brown got hit. Wanted to call. Mims rebounds, turns it over. Posey's there. McAfee let her rip for three. Can't get it. Shooting not great tonight by either club. Kimbrough in a hurry. Lucas with a rare touch.
Notice Lenny Brown gets real close to Lucas because Lucas is not known for putting it on the deck and getting by.
Catch and shoot. Good crowd. Lucas hit that one.
Now that was
hard to get it, too.
Excellent shot by Lucas. Shows you that he does have the ability to stick it on the deck and go to the basket.
Lenny Brown runner in the lane is good.
Number 4, Lenny Brown scoring.
So Lenny Brown makes an 11-10 Xavier lead.
And now the 5 count is on again.
Under 11 to play here. Castle Coliseum in Blacksburg, Virginia. Get it underneath to Ray, who got the great start. Kimbrough's first shot. Oh, man, tough.
Now that ball was
Not
shot
pretty.
like a guy who's shooting 9 for 40 thus far this season.
Posey to Fry. He walked. And Fry, we watched him in the shoot-around, showed a lot of athleticism, great jumping ability. He wanted that one, didn't get it, but Xavier still leads by a point.
Xavier leads Virginia Tech by 1 in what has been a very tough defensive battle thus far. One of the reasons Virginia Tech with only 10 points early in the half is the fact that Eddie Lucas has been defended very well. That time Lucas putting the ball on the deck and going to the basket, Dave. It's not something he does very often. Only 2 points thus far in the game. In fact, only 2 field goal attempts, and one of them we just saw he created for himself.
And it looked like Lenny Brown thought he was going to get some help, too. There was no help there, and here's Tech inbounding, down a point. Dennis Mims has got it. So Lucas now guarded by Lumpkin. Lucas a transfer from the Naval Academy. Into the trap, McAfee came over.
Boy, they almost got that ball, too. Lucas has done a real nice job playing guard for Virginia Tech, but that's not his natural position.
Underneath, Lucas on the move. Got the shot off over Posey. Rebound, he hangs in, taken away by Fry to the foul. Tell you what, he'll sleep well tonight because he's going to be working like crazy here.
Well, the number 3, Kevin Brown.
If Lucas, and you notice Lenny Brown is out of the game, and now Lumpkin is guarding Lucas, and so Lucas must feel like he's been released from jail or something. Very active without the ball. Lumpkin didn't block him out, allowed him to get the rebound. And this is where you don't want to put this young man. He doesn't go to the free throw line very often. Only
19th shot.
19th shot this year, but when he gets there, he's 17-19 on the year now.
That works. Wants to make the Dean's list. And he's put Tech back on top 12-11.
Now Tech with some pressure.
Open man, corner, Lloyd Price. Headed block. Wheeler got that one. Boy, just came up and snuffed it.
Virginia Tech leads the A-10 in blocked shots.
Wheeler up top. Here's Lucas. Working hard. Inside Mims. Low blocks. Off the glass and in. He's got his first bucket of the night.
True freshman that they really think is going to be pretty good here at Virginia Tech. Coaching staff very high on his potential.
Fry got a first look. He nails a triple. So Kevin Fry, the freshman out of Chicago, with a quick three. Lucas going to try to get it back. They're going to battle inside Harris and Wheeler. I mean, they are just going at it. Wheeler's got the big weight advantage. Wheeler at 253, Harris at 220 at best. Through the hands, Fry's got it now. Here comes Xavier. 14 all game. Lumpkin. Numbers against him. Backs it off. Whoa, waits for help that throws it behind Fry. Another turnover for the Musketeers. They average just under 18 a game.
We talked about Dennis Mims and his potential for Virginia Tech. Just a real nice play inside. Well defended by Fry, and then Posey coming over to help, but a good turnaround move to the basket.
Mims likes that shot. Bobby Husson
likes it as well.
Likes it so much. Giving up on the 9-minute mark here in Blacksburg, Virginia with Castle Coliseum. Ray in some trouble. And he's felt that 5-second count running out. This is college basketball here on ESPN2. We're action in the Atlantic 10 from Castle Coliseum in Blacksburg, Virginia. I'm Dave Sims with Dan Bonner as the Hokies take on the Xavier Musketeers. Hey, coming up on Friday night, it's Friday Night Fights on ESPN2, presented by Budweiser from Foxwoods Resort Casino in Ledyard, Connecticut, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. 10-round super middleweight bout. Benny Pazienza against Andra White. Benny out of Cranston, Rhode Island, and Andra White out of St. Louis, Missouri. Plus the latest boxing news and information. Friday Night Fights on ESPN2, presented by Budweiser. Kimbrough and McAfee. Lots of quicks here. Wheeler. Now Lucas. He's guarded by Lumpkin. Lucas, a step back, way short. It's Xavier Ball.
Again, Eddie Lucas is much more of a catch-and-shoot kind of guy rather than the kind of a player who's going to create something off the dribble. But he knows very well how much Virginia Tech relies upon him to score.
Posey to Fry. Virginia Tech, 7th in the conference in three-point shooting and off to a bad start. Lenny Brown back in the game. Fry, nice spin, had it taken away. Lucas. Breakout now for Virginia Tech. Cross court, Ray set up for the deuce. Can't get it. Rebound, Fry. Shows some strength there.
Well, you talked about Fry's athletic skills, and he does have them.
Well, McAfee just challenged right to the glass and scores the little guy. The 6-footer out of Saginaw, Michigan. And Xavier back by 2.
McAfee had a big game against Rhode Island. 18 points, 10 assists was a key factor in the Musketeers' win.
He's one of those energizers. He comes off the bench. An already up-tempo team just picks it up another notch.
Wheeler, that's what you need coming off the bench is energy and offense.
Out of contact there. Shot clock at 6. Kimbrough lets her rip with 4. Rim, no. Tip, no. And it's Xavier Ball. They got Lumpkin ahead of the pack. Posey sees him. Good catch.
Unfortunately, Dave, that pass sailed a little bit on Posey, and Lumpkin couldn't control it without the travel.
Maurice McAfee has done a pretty good job coming in off the bench for Xavier. Musketeers by 2 at the 7:15 mark. Back here at Castle Coliseum, Xavier with a 2-point lead over Virginia Tech. Earlier today, we had a good time. Enjoyed speaking with Bobby Hussey, native of Asheboro, North Carolina. We were sorry to hear about the passing of his 60-year-old brother Sherman to that insidious disease, colon cancer, last Saturday. We send our condolences to Bobby and the entire Hussey family on the loss of his brother Sherman. So far, Bobby's club shooting 40%. They turned it over 10 times. And Ray's got 4 points and 5 rebounds. That in the first couple of minutes. And another turnover. It's going to be Xavier Ball.
Well, McAfee doing a great job putting pressure on the ball. And I don't know that this ball, I thought that ball went off McAfee. The referee was screened and didn't see and looked to his partners for help, but they didn't see it either, so you make the best call you can in that situation. Once you put that air in the whistle, you got to do something.
McAfee left the game. Lloyd Price is back. Lumpkin and Brown on the backcourt. Posey and Fry and Lloyd Price for Xavier. Ray got Alvaro Torres in the game right now. Eddie Lucas. Another turnover this time for Xavier. A little sloppy right now.
This, you don't expect to have a real clean game when you have two teams who play as well defensively as do these two squads. You noted, we said before, Virginia Tech only shooting 40%, Xavier only 38%. Now 9 turnovers for Xavier, 11 for Virginia Tech. Games where the ball doesn't go in the basket with great frequency are not really picturesque.
Right you are. Dunlop, that didn't go in the hoop, but he'll get a chance to go at the line.
Well, the big key to this game for Xavier defensively has been the fact that after getting burned early in the full court press, they've dropped back into the half court defense where they have put tremendous pressure on the ball. Lumpkin, I think, thought he was going to get some help, was fighting to get around in front, but just couldn't do it.
Brendan Dunlop, 8th in assists in the Atlantic 10. His free throw shooting story this year, 66%. He's now 27 of 40. McAfee back in for Lumpkin. Dunlop, pretty good progression since coming here to Virginia Tech. Front rims that one. Rebound to Posey.
And again, the free throw woes really hurting Virginia Tech in the first half.
Make that Brown launch. Posey.
Oh my, what a rebound.
Jeez. Posey, baseline. Cut off. Kicks it to McAfee. Long range jumper, no. Rebound to Mims. Boy, he reached back and got that one.
Boy, he did. He was fortunate too, Dave, because he didn't block anybody out.
Lucas in a lot of trouble. Went through his legs. And now Dunlop is just mauled. And they get it for the travel. Wow. As you can tell, a popular call here in Blacksburg, Virginia.
When Lucas falls down, he does a great job getting rid of the ball, but now Lucas brings his man over, and as well,
McAfee got the ball, and
Lucas is underneath Dunlop's feet so he can't go anywhere.
Posey posting up inside. Fry gets a look. Jumper's good.
Fry has been solid this entire season, a 50% shooter on the year.
He's got 5 points tonight. Mims. Here's the setup. Deep jump, no good.
Villegas in the game.
Just came in on that last break. McAfee finds Fry and a bump. There's an easy call there. Alvaro Tour practically put a forearm through the back of Fry. So Alvaro Tour, the senior out of Barcelona, Spain, picks up his first foul. Playing just about 7 minutes a game.
And Dave, you might wonder where Roland Roberts is. He's on the bench. He's got 2 fouls.
And how about the crowd saying McAfee practically walked the ball inbounds? Fry feeling good about his jumper, and that's why. That's a triple. He's got 8.
Well, he has 2 threes in this game, and that's double the total that he had coming in. Boy, that'll make Skip Prosser happy. That's a great place to get offense from an unexpected source. There's a foul on McAfee.
See Skip Prosser pleading with McAfee, please, no fouls 40 feet from the basket. Really don't need that.
Fry does a nice job spotting up. We said coming in, he was only 1 of 5 from beyond the three-point arc, but he's made 2 of them tonight.
And they were hoping he was going to be a big inside scorer, and here it is. He's nailed a couple of threes, and Tech yet to taste the fruits from long range. He's great. Long range Dunlop. He got it.
Right on cue.
27% from long range. Dunlop. He's got 4. Nice shake by Price to the glass. Thrown up and in. My goodness, what a good-looking shot that was.
Price really likes to take the ball and go at the basket. He has not yet in his career a real effective outside shoot. Only 4 of 24 from beyond the three-point arc. But boy, when he shoots from closer range, particularly when he's going to the basket, he is very, very effective.
As our pal the governor, Bill Raftery would say, some lingerie. Man, did he put a shake on the defender down at that end. Big numbers for Price at high school and at Oak Hill.
He's a big time recruit.
Oh, yeah.
For Xavier. A lot of top programs in the country are after him.
And you could see why, if you're a Xavier fan, had Darnell Williams not gotten hurt, had a season ended. Same type of players. Mims wheels and scores. He's got 4. And Posey, Williams, and Price are similar type of players. Look at McAfee taken down by Mims. Cut off that drive, Wheeler. Quick pull, no good. And a foul off the floor. Wheeler with the foul.
Well, that is really the first open three-point look that Eddie Lucas has had.
You know what? As soon as he had it, I'm taking it.
Well, he needs to take it. This is a young man that shoots almost 45% from beyond the three-point arc.
Number 14,
David Whaley coming into the game. Sophomore from Sevierville, Tennessee. Another transfer from the Naval Academy.
And Mims now goes out of the game, and so for Bobby Hussey, you really got to wonder where he's going to get offense on the inside with Roberts on the bench with those 2 personal fouls, and now Mims, who has scored a couple of buckets, out of the game.
It's Fry at the line, front rims that one. Whaley comes in and gets on the board with a rebound. Lucas ahead of the pack. Lucas shoots over McAfee, draws a foul, count it.
That was a very aggressive play by Virginia Tech. I think Dunlop was the guy that made that all happen by recognizing the fact that Lucas was down the court. Dunlop just gets it one dribble. Now he's pushing it up the court. McAfee only about 6 feet tall. Lucas taking it right up over him and scoring easily.
Nothing like having a 6-inch height advantage. Get a three-point play. Good production out of Lucas, 7 points now. And Tech trails by a point as we come to the 4-minute mark. Price over to Lumpkin. Inside, and Whaley reaches around and fouls Posey. They're going to try to exploit that matchup. Posey against Whaley.
Posey caused that foul by just having great position and then moving to maintain the position. Whaley thought he had an opening, but Posey was just too quick for him.
9 team fouls for Virginia Tech, 7 for Xavier. Posey having it do it all year. 16th in A-10 scoring, 2nd in rebounding for LaSalle's Kingdale Wesson, 3rd in steals.
And he also averages almost 3 assists a game.
Boy. You name it, he can do it. Most outstanding player of the 1998 Atlantic 10 Tournament Championship. 18 points and 10 boards in those 3 games. So a good trip to the line. 3-point lead for Xavier. And Virginia Tech hanging tough on shots like that from Dunlop. Xavier by 3. The Musketeers favorites to win in the Atlantic 10 Western Division. And Roland Roberts getting a lot of pine time tonight. Picked up 2 quick fouls, and they miss his scoring and rebounding productivity.
Now those are his numbers on the season. A little bit less tonight. Now this is a problem that Virginia Tech had in the UMass game, where Roberts got 2 early fouls and sat down. Now Xavier, for the first time this evening, goes to his zone. Really got to figure out where Lucas is.
And Lucas is in the game and
cheat that way.
Lucas on the left side. There's Whaley. Ray got up to the good start. Hasn't been much of a factor. Whaley's first shot's good. Whaley with the 3. And Whaley now 2 of 7 from long range. That's on the season. Tied at 26.
Hokies stay in that man-to-man.
Price trying to answer. Little strong went up and over. Posey hit the deck.
And Virginia Tech has gotten some good contributions from guys coming off the bench. Whaley that time, Mims.
There's Dunlop bringing it up against Lumpkin.
And the intensity of the pressure is backed off just a little bit, Dave.
Dunlop with a pull-up. He's good. I'll tell you what, an opportunity presented itself, and he nailed it. 6 points for Dunlop.
He's had a nice game thus far.
Back by 2. Lumpkin penetrated a little bit too deep. Here's Brown. Brown hoist way outside. Does he follow? Nice rebound. Brown, the cutter's Posey. Puts it back to Lumpkin. In traffic, lost it, Fries there, got hacked, no call. Loose ball underneath. Strowman, here comes Virginia Tech. Dunlop, Tech up by 2. Woken up by Brown, that's a great play.
Mims should have caught that ball, Dave. It just bounced right off his hand.
Brown, did he double dribble? No, he drew some contact, though. Lenny Brown.
Well, now,
he's 2 for 8, but I tell you what, he's at least trying hard.
Dave, I tell you what, the game being played at this frantic pace, that's really something Xavier likes.
Coming up at halftime, stay with us here on The Deuce. ESPN News will bring you news about the UConn-BC matchup. And how about the NBA lockout? It has been settled. Not an April Fool's line. It has been settled.
Substitution. Number 31.
Well, it's nice to see that they finally got all that straightened out. It would have been very nice if they'd have got it done earlier, but better late than never, huh?
I will subscribe to that. For the tie, he's got it. Well, Lenny Brown, 81% on the year, ties it at 28 as we approach 2 minutes to go first half. First touch in a while for Lucas.
Xavier back to the man-to-man.
Unlocked. He shakes free, guarded by Price. Foul off the ball.
Mims really working hard on the inside against Harris, and Harris picks up the foul. And I'll tell you what, you get a young guy like Mims working that hard on the inside, I think you need to put the ball in his hands. He was actually open in there a couple of times and never did touch it.
Harris picked up his second foul. McAfee's in. McAfee came in for Price. Roberts takes a seat. Kimbrough is back in for Virginia Tech.
Well, here's Mims, only a 53% free throw shooter, and then miss another one.
I'll tell you what, let's just say it right now. Whaley had it blocked. McAfee in a hurry. McAfee in the lane. A block called. It's against Kimbrough. Check that Dunlop. Let's just go on record right now. So foul shooting is going to loom large at the end of this one. I mean, let's just go out on a limb and say it, you know?
Virginia Tech's free throw numbers are really not very good tonight. And they just missed the front end of a 1-and-1. You can see they're 4 of 8, but they've missed the front end of the 1-and-1 twice in this first half. 59% is last in the Atlantic 10. Bobby Hussey told us, as McAfee hits the first one earlier today, that he really felt like his team would be at least 7-3, maybe even 9-1. They're 5-5 if they could just make some free throws. He said you leave everything else the same. All the scoring, rebounding, even the tough time they've had shooting the ball. If they just make free throws, he really feels like they could be 7-3.
Again, the two coaches, Constance defense, 4 points for McAfee. Constance defense and rebounding going to keep you alive. Lenny Brown, Hawking, Dunlop. Here's Ray. I don't think Ray scored since the first 2 minutes. Ray, guarded by Price. Dunlop, nice feed inside. Mims missed a chippy. He was right there. Posey, nice save. Price, blocking foul. Easy call, didn't have a step.
Foul called on number 22, Andre Ray.
Mims, Andre Ray asked us what we think. Well, we think Mims should have made this basket. Mims really having a tough time catching it inside, and he didn't catch that one cleanly. He just never got in defensive position. To be in proper guarding position, you have to have both feet on the floor, and you've got to be facing the dribbler. And Ray never really got there.
Price makes the first.
Number 23, Sean.
I don't know why Ray was appealing to us, though. We can't do anything about it.
Yeah, there's no instant replay that will be in effect here.
Everybody talks about the power of television, but we can't do anything.
Not at all. Couple at the line for Price, got 7. 32-28 coming up in a minute to go.
Sean Floyd in the ball game, number 23 for Virginia Tech.
His first touch right now. Floyd out of Alexandria, Virginia, is a junior. Dunlop, 17 on the shot clock. Tried to set up. Ray inside Mims. Foul on Harris's third.
I don't know that's exactly the way they drew that play up, but they'll take it. Floyd lost the ball, and they batted it right back to him. Floyd takes it in, has it knocked away, but then has the presence of mind to recover it and attack the basket. And by attacking the basket, he forced Harris to come over, passed it to Mims, who draws the foul.
Making Mims adhere to the rules, keeping his shirt tucked in. Obie Harris's third foul this evening. Well, I tell you what, not only did he miss, but boy, that's a heavy shot he missed.
Harris really has not been a factor at all in this game, and he's now going to leave with those 3 personal fouls.
Mims second at the line, got all net. He's got 5. 32-29, final 48 seconds. McAfee going to back it out.
Man-to-man. There's a 5-second violation. Excellent defensive play by Floyd. You mentioned McAfee trying to back it out, Dave. And when he did, Floyd stayed right with him, maintaining that 6-foot guarding distance, and therefore the count continued.
Check down by 3.
About a 3-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock.
Whaley inside and a crush. 5 points for Whaley. They had a 3 and now a dunk. 1-point game. Posey. Hold up. Line drive
right there.
Oh, man. Wow. 34-31. Ray with about 9. He gets free. Baseline runner. Tough shot. Got knocked down. 3 seconds. Posey.
Time.
He can get it off. He takes a look. It's in the air and off the rim. But Xavier goes to halftime with a 34-31 halftime lead here in Blacksburg, Virginia. ESPN News coming up next, updating you on the world of sports. We'll come back to Blacksburg where the Musketeers lead it by 3.
ESPN2's exclusive presentation of NCAA basketball is brought to you by GMC Sierra, for those who demand more from a truck. From the worldwide leader in sports, this is ESPN News.
Yes, it is, everybody. Welcome back to the newsroom and a special intermission edition of ESPN News. Mike Greenberg and Michael Kim will get you back to the college basketball game you're enjoying in just a moment. But first, we catch you up on the rest of a busy night in sports.
Yeah, we start off with college basketball and number 1. The burden of college basketball's top ranking appears heavier on the road than at home for the UConn men. After 11 games, the Huskies averaged 94.5 points at home, but only 66 points on the road. As point guard Khalid El-Amin said, "It's a matter of taking care of business, Connecticut style." We're not sure what that means, but Boston College was sure to find out tonight as the Golden Eagles try to end a 19-game losing streak in this series. This one taking place in Chestnut Hill. First half action, UConn working the ball around to their go-to guy, Richard Hamilton. That's why his nickname is Rip. The three-pointer UConn jumping out to a 12-0 lead. Hamilton showing off his defense later. Steals the inbounds pass ahead to Ricky Moore for the nice lay-in. And then more from the Huskies on the run and more nice ball movement. It ends up once again in the hands of their All-America sharpshooter, Richard Hamilton. He had 18 points in the first half. UConn up by 14 at that point. Right now, it is a 14-point margin between UConn and BC in this Big East matchup. The Huskies have won 19 in a row over BC. The Eagles, meanwhile, have lost 7 of their last 8 overall. In other action from the Big East, St. John's and Miami, Glenn Rice catching in one more game before the start of the NBA season. First half action, Johnny Hemsley to Tim James for 3. Count it. James with 9 at the half. Later, it's Dwayne Wembley at the free throw line, and Wembley, after much concentration, misses. The tip in, no good. The rebound, followed, no good. Then Wembley with the two-fisted finish, and the Hurricanes leading by 9 at the break. Right now, Miami bidding for the upset over number 9 St. John's. 76-68 your score in the second half. Final minutes of this one. St. John's has not opened 4-0 in conference play since the 84-85 season, a season in which the Johnnies went to the Final Four. The Hurricanes are looking for their 7th straight win. In the ACC, North Carolina versus Florida State, early first half action. Ademola Okalaja knocks down the three-pointer and puts the Heels on top. Florida State looking to inbounds later. 3 seconds left on the shot clock. Ron Hale, yes. Seminoles leading. Carolina looks to answer, but Hale with the steal. And he says, make my dunk the P-dunk, Greening. Florida State up 31-28 at the half. And then in the second half, Ademola Okalaja, the big man, showing off the range. Another three-pointer for him. A final score, North Carolina 72-54 winners over Florida State. It's the 4th straight win over the Noles for the Heels. They have won 13 of the last 15 meetings between these two programs.
All right, so now that we know the NBA is coming back, we can begin to answer the really important question. Is Michael coming back? You knew there would be basketball again eventually, but without Mr. Jordan, will it be worth watching? David Falk has weighed in. He says, quote, Michael is going to see what Chicago wants to do, then make an informed decision. All of this coming after an all-night bargaining session between Billy Hunter and David Stern produced an agreement the players voted overwhelmingly to ratify this afternoon. All that remains now is the rubber stamp from the Board of Governors tomorrow. Here are the particulars. The 53rd NBA season will begin in 27 days. Teams will cram and jam to get 52 games in by the end of April, so the second season can begin by the beginning of May. The busiest time, however, could be from now until February 2nd, when players will have to get into game shape and get signed or traded. Free agency does not begin until the 18th. We'll take a short break. We're sending you back to the game you're enjoying with Xavier leading Virginia Tech by 3. First, Michael and I back with more on ESPN News in just a moment.
In a few years, the NFL is leaving the Boston area, but that doesn't mean there won't be a Boston in the league, as in Ohio State wide receiver David Boston, who announces today that his Buckeye days are behind him. The Sugar Bowl MVP holds the school record for career touchdown catches and receiving yards. We should note that he goes pro against the advice of his head coach, John Cooper. Others beating the Friday deadline to declare: Amos Zaraway, the West Virginia tailback who ran for 1,439 yards last season and nearly 4,100 yards in his collegiate career. Also turning pro, college football's outstanding interior lineman and winner of the Outland Trophy from UCLA, Chris Ferris. The 6'9", 315-pound junior said a factor was that many players in his recruiting class, like quarterback Cade McNown, had completed their eligibility.
College basketball, Arkansas, Auburn, Derek Hood to Brandon Dean. He eyes it, he tries it, he buys it for 3. Razorbacks take the lead. Now, tied at 27, David Hamilton. He can't handle the pass. Doc Robinson turning defense into offense. Watch him go behind the back. And Robinson stops, pops, drops, just a 2, but it does give Arkansas the lead. And right now, it is a 10-point Auburn advantage. They have gone to the break. Auburn coming in 13-0, came into the game leading the nation in scoring margin as well. They win their games by just a hair under 30 points per contest. Arkansas has won the last 5 meetings. DePaul and Cincinnati in Conference USA, and it's all Bearcats at the break. Melvin Levitt, 21 points. Bearcats have won 24 straight home games, 1 short of the school record. And in the Big Ten, it's Purdue and Penn State, and right now the Boilers lead it by 9. They are playing their first game since December 27th. After a short break, those of you on ESPN2, back to the game you're enjoying. The Musketeers over the Hokies by 3.
Halftime of our Atlantic 10 game, 34-31 Xavier Musketeers as they try to make a run at their 5th straight win. Dave Sims and Dan Bonner with you, and the 2 bugaboos that have been killing Virginia Tech. 3-point shooting and free throws. They come into play again, but yet they're only down by 3.
They're only down by 3, and actually they've done a great job defensively. Xavier only shooting about 38%, but Xavier has really taken care of business on the defensive end as well. Virginia Tech has shot the ball better than usual, but Xavier's done a great job forcing turnovers.
Yes, they have. Take a look at some of the first half highlights here in Blacksburg, Virginia.
We talked about the defensive pressure that Xavier has been able to exert, forcing 13 turnovers. Here's an example. We get Eddie Lucas down on the ground, McAfee and Brown with a double team, and finally Dunlop travels with the ball. The other thing that Xavier has done is they've gotten some offensive help from some unexpected sources. Fry with 8 points, including 2 3-point baskets, and Virginia Tech has gotten real solid contributions off the bench here. Whaley with the dunk. He had 5 points in the first half.
So we're come back with second half action here in Blacksburg in a moment. 34-31. Xavier on top of Virginia Tech.
ESPN2's exclusive presentation of NCAA basketball is brought to you by the complete line of 1999 Lincoln automobiles. Lincoln, what a luxury car should be.
Back here at Blacksburg, Virginia Tech trailing the Xavier Musketeers by 3, 34-31. Take a look at some of the first half numbers.
And there are some interesting numbers in the first half. Virginia Tech is a team that shoots the ball very poorly, shooting at 46%. They've really struggled from the free throw line. Xavier has done a nice job from the line, but Xavier, one of the top shooting teams in the A-10, limited to 39%. Interestingly enough, on a team with Lumpkin and Brown and McAfee, the only person who scored a three-point field goal for Xavier tonight is Kevin Fry. And bench scoring, interestingly enough, has been a factor that has really helped Virginia Tech. Mims with 5 points off the bench and Whaley with 5 points off the bench has given Virginia Tech about as much in the half as they usually get in a game.
Second half action underway. Here's Lumpkin with Brown, Posey, Harris, and Fry starting. Fry and Lucas, they are your leading scorers in the game to this point.
And that's Fry is a surprise.
Yes,
of course,
indeed.
Lucas is not. Lumpkin and Brown have been silent from outside the three-point arc.
Harris with the catch. Posey bails him out. 10 on the shot clock. Here's Fry with 5 in the corner. Brown got it up. Rebound to Ray. So Lenny Brown struggling big time. 2 for 9. Pull up is good by Roland Roberts. 6 points tonight.
That's very similar to the way Virginia Tech started the game. Getting out, got a couple of easy baskets early, took the lead.
1 point game. Posey to Brown. Fry posting up. A Jack Sikma turnaround.
Boy, Fry has really done a nice job getting himself open. Roberts with those 2 fouls just didn't get after him at all.
A little reverse pivot freed him up. Ray outside. Ray in the first minute and a half, 2 minutes of the game had a dunk and a jumper and looked like he was off to a big night. Has been heard from since. Lucas under duress, put it up. Roberts rebound, missed it. Chippy underneath. Wheeler headed block. Roberts again. Roberts with the fadeaway, and it's good off the glass.
And Lucas is down.
And Lucas down. That's the worst thing you could see if you're a Virginia Tech fan. And he took a heck of a pop. He's in pain. And Jimmy Lawrence, a longtime trainer.
Dave, I tell you what, you ask why does it hurt Virginia Tech that Roland Roberts spends most of the first half on the bench? Well, Roberts with the first shot there and just hangs with it after the Wheeler miss. Roberts gets it and knocks it in the basket. And Roberts is actually the guy who hit Lucas.
7-0 when leading at the half are the Musketeers. And last year they led by 15 in the first contest and 7 in the second meeting with Virginia Tech and won both of them. Wow! What a block! Wow!
Posey never saw it.
And a turnover after they get it back. Able to keep the ball in play, too. Dunlop, Ray, lead pass picked off by Lumpkin.
Roberts was open before they threw him the ball. By the time they decided to throw it inside, he was covered up.
A beat late. Fry was open. Look for the alley-oop. Nothing there. 36-35. Xavier. Pull up Brown. His follow-through has not been real smooth. He's got 8 points.
It's only his 3rd field goal of the game. 3 for 10 shooting now. Lucas, who was out, now coming back in. And Roberts is a guy they have to get involved in the game.
And we talked about him at the opening. Said he could be a force in the low blocks, but it has not happened. 2 fouls, big reason. Dunlop penetrates, contact,
Offensive
walk
foul.
the other way. Xavier hung in there nicely. I think that was Posey that took the charge.
Dave, Virginia Tech, a big part of their defense is their ability to block shots. They are the leading shot blockers in the A-10. Ray just never gives up on this play. He gets screened off, but he stays after it and blocks the shot opposing.
Resounding.
That's 4 blocked shots for Virginia Tech in the game thus far.
3 minutes in, second half. Here's Posey. Posey shot it here in the second half. Lenny Brown. Quick trigger's good. So Lenny's hit 2 in a row. That's a 3. He's got 11 points.
And he is capable of getting very hot in that Rhode Island game. He scored at one point 16 of 17 Xavier points to bring him back in.
Wheeler under some pressure. Here's Red. Dunlop. 5, make that 6-point lead. For Xavier. Dunlop in the lane in traffic. And it goes.
Boy, and Ray is fortunate that he didn't hit that ball while it was on the rim, because they'd have waved it off.
It was tantalizingly close. Good presence of mind to back off.
This is really a difficult shot. Harris picks up his 4th foul, but pretty good defense out on the perimeter by Brown, and Harris came over to help. That is an extremely tough shot as Price comes in the game and Harris leaves.
And mark that at 16:24 where Harris goes out. 3-point play for Brendan Dunlop. Back down by 3.
Virginia Tech keeps hanging around.
Yes, they do. Change of pace, dribble, nice look. Lumpkin with a great setup to Fry.
The foul is against Lucas. And that's something that Skip Prosser's troops have not been able to do very much of tonight, and that is get the ball and beat their men out on the perimeter. The penetration really hasn't been there, but here, just a great move by Lumpkin. Ray not quick enough to stay with him, and Fry stepping in very well.
Lumpkin guarded by Lucas. Sets up Posey. Working on Wheeler. In tight. Pass up the shot. Fry got a look at it. Line drive no good. Ray rebounds. Big battle underneath.
Fry doing a great job trying to keep the ball away from Roberts. The Virginia Tech fans think there should be a foul called in there.
Good battle. Ray goes at 2:18. Fry goes at 2:30. Take that for Roberts. Big guy. Roberts goes at 2:37. My mistake. Dunlop with 5 on the shot clock. In trouble. Throws it up. Doesn't go.
And there's Fry with the rebound. Excellent defense on the perimeter.
Jimmy Brown shakes free in the lane. Nice lead. Nice block. Roberts.
Boy, what a play by Posey to keep that ball alive.
And they get a foul called on Virginia Tech.
And that foul's going to be on Roberts. That was a great play by Posey to react to the block shot by tipping the ball back to a teammate. Roberts got the block, but Posey kept it alive.
15-12 to go. Second half. Roberts just picked up his 3rd. Xavier by 3. Xavier by 3, 41-38 at the 15-12 mark here in the second half. Some high flyers here in Hokie land. Hey, ESPN College Basketball Full Court Pay-Per-View. You know it's the best way to see more than 450 colleges games from top conferences on pay-per-view. Call DirecTV at 1-800-GET-SPORTS or Prime Star at 1-800-PRIME-STAR for ESPN College Basketball Full Court Pay-Per-View. Check out this block.
Talked about Virginia Tech's ability to block shots. Roberts gets the block there, but Posey recovers very well to tip the ball out to Lumpkin, and then Roberts reaches in and draws his 3rd foul.
And that's Roberts is still in there.
Well, you got to have him in the game.
In tight. Lumpkin takes advantage, knowing that Roberts isn't going to challenge. He's got 4. Ray thought about it, backed off.
And now we're going to get Fry called on the foul inside against Wheeler. Talked about Virginia Tech in block shots. They are the leading team in the A-10 in block shots. You can see only Caswell Cyrus from St. Bonaventure is better than Roberts and Mims for the Hokies.
Roberts with a couple tonight. Ray's got a couple. Here's Ray. Guarded by Price way outside. Gets free. Pull up, got in trouble. Roberts, short jumper, no good. Rebound Lumpkin.
Roberts really does not score that well going to the basket like that, Dave. He's a short jumper, but that's not really his game.
Posey with a step, and look at Posey went baseline, and he's got 9 points. They let him have the baseline, one of the cardinal rules. One of the cardinal don't-dos on defense.
Xavier gets into the offensive zone very quickly, and right around Roberts goes Posey. What a great first step.
He can ref, too. We're excited about him having such a great year. 75% at the free throw line. Not bad. Certainly by today's standards, as we go around college basketball, and Dan, I know you can attest to this. constant complaint we have from coaching. The inability to shoot free throws and the intermediate jump shot.
There's a foul called against Price.
You agree, disagree?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you look around the country, Dave, and you tell me where the teams who shoot the ball really well are. You identify them. You identify 10, then you're really in business. Here, we've talked about Xavier and their defensive pressure. That time they get called for the foul, but I don't think that's a bad foul. You keep the pressure on those guys out on the perimeter.
8-point lead for Xavier. Another storyline we talked about, Lucas, not much of a factor. Wheeler steps out to hit one. So Wheeler's got 4 points. Nice move, Lloyd Price. Oh, brother.
And now I think we're going to get a foul on Posey coming over the back, but Price is entertaining, isn't he?
Oh. Some kind of quicks. Posey picked up the foul.
Price is one of those guys, if he can do it and make it look easy, he doesn't want to do it. He wants to go for those degree of difficulty babies.
Well, he was the one that came down, 4-point game, did a 360 whirly bird breakaway dunk, but he missed it.
Yeah, they were down 4 to Rhode Island, and he misses the thing. That's a bad pass.
Turnover.
But it doesn't seem to have bothered him a bit.
No, not at all. Nice steal. Ray, they should be able to hammer this one. Ooh, I tell you what, he lost that going up. He went up to crush it and lost it. Luckily, the momentum was going the right way. 46-42. Watch him lose it on the way up.
Well, Posey's usually the guy who's making the steals, but Ray, very quick at 6'4", gets it and takes it home.
Couldn't tell from that angle, but that ball got out of his hand, I think, about a nanosecond earlier than he wanted to.
And now Floyd comes back in the game for Dunlop, and this is an indication of the fact that the Xavier pressure has had an effect. Dunlop working very hard against the pressure, so you have to bring Floyd in to give him the blow.
Lumpkin beats it, dribbles it off his foot. Uh-oh. And looked like Xavier was going to have some numbers there.
Xavier has gone through stretches in this game where they have committed what you have to call unforced turnovers, dribbling it off their feet, throwing it out of bounds.
Basic meltdowns.
You know, the Virginia Tech defense has been right there.
All right, here's Lucas. First touch in a long time. He gives it up. Ray, Lucas again, inside against Price. And he'll go to the line where he's as good as anybody.
That was really a nice offensive set by Virginia Tech to get Lucas the ball down close to the basket. Bobby Hussey knows that he's got to get his leading scorer more involved, and so he finds him a spot where they can't send 8 guys after him.
20-second timeout.
Skip Brosser calls a 20-second timeout. His club up by 4, just under 13 to play. Hey, coming up from Kapalua Plantation Course on Maui, it's the PGA Mercedes Championships on ESPN. Begins tomorrow night at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Phil Mickelson will be on hand to defend his title. Yes, friends, PGA Golf is back, and the Mercedes Championships are the only one open to winners of PGA Tour events and major championships from previous year. So you'll see all winners in the Mercedes Championships tomorrow at 7:30 Eastern Time from Maui. Tough assignment for Mike Tirico and Curtis Strange.
Well, now you can't be complaining. You were just out there playing golf.
They got to play about 4 or 5 times, though. I got to tee it up once. Lucas, a good story. His idols growing up, Larry Bird and Pete Maravich. A couple of guys, idols basketball-wise. Wants to make the Dean's list and wants to lead the Atlantic 10 in several categories this year.
Well, one thing that you have to say about Lucas, this is a young man who has gotten everything possible out of his ability. He's not the quickest guy. He's not the best jumper. He's not anywhere close to the best athlete on this team, but he's having an outstanding year just doing what he can do, and there's a perfect example.
Right on cue. Eddie Lucas knocks it off of the Xavier player. And the Hokies take over and a chance for a tie or the lead here.
Well, let's see if they keep trying to go to Lucas, particularly on the inside.
Fry almost wins the battle with Mims.
Mims is lucky he didn't get called for a foul, holding on.
McAfee, boy, all over each other. Lucas working hard, couldn't shake free of Brown. Ray with 8 seconds on the shot clock. Floyd takes a look. 5. Crowd letting him know where he is. Contact, turnover. Brown ahead of the field. Should be able to lay it up and in. He does. He's got 13.
Now, another problem that Bobby Hussey has with his Virginia Tech squad is when that shot clock runs down, he doesn't really have anybody that can spread out the court and break down his guy one-on-one. So they struggle if they get down to 6 or 7 left on the clock.
Their best bet is around 10 before everybody freezes up, right?
10 or earlier.
Roberts baseline, foul on Posey.
Now Posey, a very experienced player, a very intelligent defender, needs to get off Roberts a little bit out there because Roberts isn't going to shoot over him. Posey doesn't need to pick up that foul.
Posey's second foul. Xavier by 4. Nice play by Lucas harassing McAfee, but right now the Hokies down by 4 here in the second half. Hey, is it something we said? Look at these guys volunteering for the euchre seats in all 3 corners here at Castle Coliseum with a lot of seats available. These folks choose to sit a long way from the action, but as long as they're happy, that's all we ask. The senior duo, backcourt for Xavier. Numbers not pretty to this point. Lumpkin with just 1 assist, 4 points. Brown has struggled to get those 13. Oh, man.
And there we get a foul on Ray as he runs right over McAfee. Excellent defense. Xavier has not shot the ball very well tonight, and they've turned it over more than a few times themselves, but their defense has really been what the difference in this game thus far. They've done a nice job forcing the turnovers. Every time Virginia Tech gets a chance to crawl a little bit closer, it seems like there's a turnover.
He's lead 8 points tonight for Xavier. Danny Brown penetrating, setting up McAfee.
Virginia Tech now showing zone.
And there's your team foul numbers. 6 for Xavier, so their next foul puts Tech in the 1-on-1. Jumper from the corner's good.
That's Posey
with 12.
Now Virginia Tech went to that zone, and Xavier operated very effectively against it. Posey got an open shot, knocked it down.
Dunlop being guarded by opposite number 15. Here's McAfee.
Man-to-man.
Lucas done a good job on Brown. Kick ball, new clock for Tech.
We've talked about the wide range of skills that James Posey brings to the table. Just working for position in that zone, and then he just goes to the corner, slides into the open spot, and he catches the ball ready to let it go.
Tech on the attack, under 11 to play. Dave Simpson, Dan Bonner with you. Castle Coliseum, Blacksburg, Virginia.
Boy, they just can't get the ball to Roberts, but they finally do. What a great job by Roberts to move his body and create an opening, and Mims with the excellent pass.
8 points for Roberts.
Virginia Tech stays in the zone, a 1-2-2 look.
Right, almost caught from behind, went off his foot. Another big play by Lucas.
Roberts only 6'6", but weighs 240 pounds, does an excellent job working with his body, just gets Posey on one side, the ball goes back to the other, he keeps him locked up there.
Turnover's kind of ugly right now. Both teams over their average. Yeah, we still got 10 and change to go. Dunlop gonna get in clean, and he makes it. Dunlop's got 11 points.
Virginia Tech's been able to do that a few times, Dave, when they beat the pressure out on the perimeter. Xavier doesn't want to drop off a guy like Lucas or Roberts.
Sent back big time by Roberts. Brown had an opening. And Skip Crosby wants some goaltending.
Brown sees that there's nobody looking at him in the zone. Everybody turning looking the other way, and so he goes right down the lane. And that is a very, very close call. We looked at it twice in slow motion and weren't sure, so that's a tough one for the officials. Skip Prosser, of course, was sure.
He's continuing to work David Day right now. 6 BLKs for Tech. Baseline drive. Nothing doing there. Lumpkin straight on. No. Rebound. Oh, Fry is there. He hangs with it. Fry has it taken away. Xavier ball, and Dunlop went out of bounds.
Yep.
A lot of 1-2 tonight.
Really impressed with Fry. Now, of course, he's made 2 3-point baskets, but he's also missed 2 dunks now.
Yeah. And the crowd appreciates the effort of the Hokies. Looking for their first win in Atlantic 10 play. Brown working against Ray. Good matchup here. Spin, and they get him. Oh, man.
Carrying the ball.
They get him in a carry. Is right. Good work by Andre Ray on the defensive end for the Hokies. That's a good battle.
Virginia Tech can guard you, Dave.
Oh, yeah. That's a gimme for them. They will guard you.
Ray trying to move his feet, and Brown just got the ball caught on his hip. And Ray very excited about the play, and Brown a little surprised.
2-point game. Hokie crowd. Students not here, but a good crowd nonetheless in Blacksburg. Students come back from their holiday break on January 18th. Ray, corner jump, a little strong. Kept alive by Lucas. Kept alive twice by Lucas.
That is a great battle by Lucas.
Great play. 3 times Eddie Lucas kept it alive.
And Ray ought to go and say thank you. He took a shot that was about 18 feet out of his range.
Inside, nice play, Fry. Head of the pack. Wait for help.
It's a good decision right there. There's another turnover where Virginia Tech has a chance to tie the game.
Fry posting up. He wants it, didn't get it. Brown tees it up. Long range, a big triple. Buddy Brown. He's got 16. 5 points. Xavier, and Lucas turns it over. Posey in a hurry. Posey with a man to beat. 3-on-1. Lumpkin is there. Lay it up and in.
Keep in mind that Posey is 6'8". What a great job to bring the ball out of there quickly and handle it going down the court. Draw the defense perfectly.
Lumpkin with 6. Little run here by Xavier to open up a 7-point lead at the 8:20 mark. And more college basketball coming your way Saturday on ESPN2. It's Idaho at Cal Poly at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Idaho led by Avery Curry and Gordon Scott. Chris Bjorklund leads Cal Poly. Then Wake Forest at number 20 Clemson at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Robert O'Kelly leading the Demon Deacons, and he'll have to go against Clemson's Terrell McIntyre and Harold Jameson for Clemson. Good doubleheader coming up on Saturday.
Virginia Tech has struggled with turnovers tonight, trying to get it inside to Mims, and Fry makes a nice play to get his hand in there and take it away. The second turnover, Lucas just gets down in the lane and loses it. Now Posey comes up with it, and Posey just wheels out of there. Draws the defense. Dunlop goes down, and just an excellent execution on the 3-on-1 fast break by Xavier.
McAfee and Dunlop, and Xavier enjoying a 12-point advantage with points off of turnovers.
Now Virginia Tech has dug themselves a little hole, and now they got to dig it back out.
Dunlop. Oh, what a tough shot. I mean, he was wearing McAfee on his right shoulder. 13 points for Dunlop. McAfee right by, goes by him, and scores with the right hand.
Dave, a little bit of confusion on the part of Virginia Tech as to who was supposed to be guarding whom. They've been in a zone the last couple of possessions, and I think they were a little confused trying to get organized defensively, and against Xavier, you just can't do that.
Defensive pressure has been a constant tonight. Xavier on a run, though, with a 7-point lead. But Dunlop looking good on this play for the Hokies here in Blacksburg.
Look back at my college experience. It's one of the best times of my life. The camaraderie, the competition, the fans. I see today's college players, and they're tough, quick, they're talented. My advice to them is stay in school, get your degree, find a good job. In an office somewhere.
Terry Williams and the Virginia Tech Hokies take on All-American forward Noelia Gomez and the GW Colonials Sunday at 11 on ESPN2.
Or would it kill you to go to grad school?
Musketeer fan must have made a pretty good ride from Cincinnati to get down here to Blacksburg. The Hokie fans well represented as well at home. On ESPN.com, let's take a look at some of the news and notes. Bombing Brian Merriweather of Texas Pan American, currently leading the nation averaging 26 and change per game after his 5th 30-point game this season on Monday. And congratulations to Xavier, ranked first in the nation with 100% graduation of all student athletes in the latest NCAA graduation rates report. For more on these stories, log on to ESPN.com. That ball was goaltended. It still went for Dunlop.
And Dunlop has really picked up the pace for Virginia Tech. He's got 13 points on the game, and that's been extremely important as Roland Roberts has not been very productive for the Hokies.
Not a factor at all. Roberts with just 8 points. Posting up Posey against Roberts. He's got 4 fouls, that is. McAfee teed up, long range, in and out.
And Mims is going to pick up the foul. Mims was holding off Harris with his left arm while he went for the rebound with his right.
Roberts picked up his 3rd foul at the 15-12 mark.
Number 42,
just 8 points for Roberts. Second leading scorer, averaging 14 a game. Lumpkin, change of pace dribble. Tough shot, won't go. Tip, no good. Kept alive. Lucas for Virginia Tech now. Hokies down 5. Here's Roberts inside. Mims wide open. Set up Kimbrough. No good. Rebound Posey. Lumpkin. Numbers against him. We'll wait for help. Lenny Brown calls. He gets it. Posey drives baseline. He's been
there he goes again. Just lost the ball. Well, you better move your feet when you're playing against Posey.
I mean, he is all kind of quick. Lumpkin guarding Dunlop here. Kimbrough.
Man-to-man.
Under 6.5 to play. Roberts gets a good look at it. Back rim, no good.
Well, it may be a good look, Dave, but it's really outside his range. Indeed. And Virginia Tech struggles.
O.B. Harris in, and he'll shoot a couple at the line.
Foul on Mims. Dave, the last 2 times Virginia Tech has had wide open looks at the basket, first by Kimbrough and then by Roberts, not able to make it, and Xavier keeps the pressure on. Coming down the other end, finding Harris is Lumpkin.
Number 31, Harris at the line.
A lot of confusion as to that matchup there for sure. Obadiah Harris. Harris at the line. He and Darnell Williams proudly were wearing their New York Yankee hats. In fact, Darnell Williams had his Yankee World Championship hat the next morning in Cincinnati. Folks in Cincinnati and Xavier were very surprised. How the heck did you get that? He said, oh, my dad FedExed it to me. Big Yankee fan from New York City. Back rim, Harris. And here comes the Hokies down 5. Coming up on 6 to play.
Really got to get Lucas involved in the game, I think.
Oh, man, there's a foul. They got it on Lumpkin. I thought it might have been on Posey. Posey with the reach, a long way from home to get a foul against the guard. And Lumpkin said, hey, come on, I can make that call.
Return to the lineup for Xavier. Number 15, Dunlop at the line.
3rd foul on Lumpkin.
See, with Harris in the ball game, has the ability to block shots in the back line there. Opponents don't shoot the ball as well against Xavier as they did before Harris got back from that injury.
Dunlop with 16 points.
And Dunlop has done a great job penetrating to the basket. The last couple of times, though, the defense has collapsed on him, forced him to pass the ball back out, and Virginia Tech has missed jump shots. That time he draws the foul and makes both of them.
4 out of 5 at the free throw line tonight. 6 minutes to go. 57-54 Xavier. Fry with the ball. Here's Posey. Money Brown got a good pick. Long shot. Good. Nothing but net. 19 points for Money Brown.
Now, he may not make all of them, but he sure looks confident shooting.
Yes, he does.
He's done a nice job in the second half from beyond the three-point arc.
Mims up top. Oh, Brown almost had the steal. Lucas. Inside. Mims wheels. No. Tip. Good by Lucas.
You know, you cannot forget about Eddie Lucas. He stays out on the perimeter a lot, but I'll tell you what, he's 6'6". You better block him out.
Money Brown again. He hits a 3. Lenny Brown, 63-56, 22 for Lenny.
He's capable of scoring those three-point baskets in bunches. Better get out there and get a hand up in his face.
Dunlop in a crowd, sets up Wheeler. Long time since he saw this man tip Lucas. Rebound Lucas. He got hammered. Here comes Xavier. They look for Lenny Brown. Fry sets his feet. Lenny Brown, they get it to him. Off the dribble. Nice pull-up. Got the roll, Lenny Brown. Lenny Brown is on fire. 24 points. 65-56, a 9-point lead. Biggest of the night for Xavier. 22nd timeout for Virginia Tech. And they now change it to a full timeout here at Blacksburg. Lenny Brown putting on a show. 65-56 Musketeers when we come back.
And Lenny Brown has put the Musketeers of Xavier on his back and carried them to a 9-point lead against Virginia Tech. Here he pulls up from the three-point arc and hits it. He was 0 for 5 from the three-point line in the first half, 4 for 5 in the second half. Now, when you do that, you get their attention and you can drive to the basket. Lenny Brown, Dave, has 18 points in the second half, 7 for 9 shooting overall, 4 of 5 from beyond the three-point arc. He scored the last 8 points for Xavier.
That last replay we showed the lost start of the pull-up off the drive. Very effective. Didn't get the charge. Laid it up and in. Posey on the overplay. Loose ball. They got it. Xavier on a big run. McAfee lay it off. He got hit. Posey's there. Posey scores.
Number 41.
67-56. A big explosion here by the Musketeers of Xavier.
And you know who got his hand on the ball to tip it out to Posey? It was Lenny Brown. So Brown getting it done on both ends of the court, and Virginia Tech's got to find some offense.
Ray on baseline. Foul before on Lumpkin. I like the way Fry came over to help out.
Fry's been very impressive. We mentioned he hasn't had the offensive production in the second half that he had in the first half, but he has been very good on the defensive end. He's rebounded the ball fairly effectively.
Number 22, Ray.
Fourth foul on Lumpkin.
Substitution.
And last thing he wanted to do was look to the sidelines because here comes Lloyd Price. Lloyd has been bothered by foul troubles himself. Under 4 to play, 67-56, make that 57. Is Andre Ray. 27% at the line on the year. Yikes.
Now that means they're very excited that he made that one.
Good trip.
Me too.
So Brown under some pressure now. Posey's going to bring it across.
I'll tell you what, when you're a team that struggles to get points, a nine-point deficit is really a big hurdle to overcome. Virginia Tech is probably going to have to get some steals and easy baskets.
Xavier right now going to work some clock. No hurry here, Posey. Nice reverse, went up, hit it, blocked. Roberts blocked it, but Posey got it back with 12 on the shot clock. He's in trouble, calls timeout. 22nd timeout for the Musketeers.
Aggressive play by Posey, but again, he goes inside and he gets the shot blocked, but he doesn't give up on it. A lot of guys just stop once they get their shot blocked, but not Posey. He stays after it, recovers the ball, and then has the presence of mind to call timeout when he realizes he's trapped in the corner. That's just an outstanding play.
Hey, folks, you know it's money time in the NFL. NFL Countdown this Sunday on ESPN, 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time for the full hour of complete football news, stats, and previews of playoff games. Then NFL Prime Time at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Full recap of those playoff games this Sunday on ESPN. 9 on the shot clock, 3.5 in the game. Lenny Brown, star here in the second half. Deep hoist, no. Fry tried to keep it alive. It'll be a foul on him on the back of Wheeler.
Haven't seen Fry make too many bad decisions tonight, but that was not a smart play. Because with this lead, you allow Virginia Tech to go down and shoot 1-and-1. Of course, it may not be a bad move because Virginia Tech shoots the ball so poorly. And now here's Lucas trying to get to the free throw line. But the officials recognizing that it was Wheeler
David Day's been around for a while. He's seen that move a few times before.
Wheeler 56% from the
line. 1-1.
Makes the first. He's got 5 points. Hokies on the season as a team 58% on the free throw line. That is last in the conference. Back rim. Price rebound. Back to Posey against the full court pressure.
Virginia Tech really has no choice but to pressure right now, and they're trying to match up.
Posey with room. Left hand blocked again, but it's goaltending by Roberts. That is 16 for Posey.
Outstanding recognition by Posey. He could see, because the play was in front of him, that Virginia Tech was scrambling around. Notice in your screen there, Roberts trying to point people to where they're supposed to go. Posey recognizes nobody's guarding him, drives to the basket.
And how about the ability to lean and get open with the left hand? Lucas shucks it, hit it. Oh, man, what a shot. Under duress. But back comes Xavier. Price knocked away. It'll stay right here.
Lucas has guys draped all over him, and he still made that one.
14 for Eddie Lucas, 4 of 9 shooting. Is 4 of 5. Check that, 1 of 4 from long range.
Well, it just had a sliver of an opening there because he got a screen out front, but it was enough.
Yeah, it wasn't as smooth a shot. They counted. Price coming up on 2.5 to go. Lenny Brown broke this game open. Had a personal 8-0 run. Give and go. Posey. Posey had that one blocked. Foul Wheeler.
That'll be a 1-and-1 because Posey was attempting to pass that ball rather than shoot it. I think that's why the foul occurred. Wheeler was playing him for the shot. Nice job by Wheeler to stop Posey first of all, and then he just reaches down. He's going after the ball, and he follows through with his arm. And when Posey put it behind his head and passed it, he just was fouled.
4th foul on Russ Wheeler. Posey's numbers on the night.
But he's, just as he's done all season, he's had a solid game.
Going to look at Jermaine Kimbrough returning to action for Andre Ray. Tell you what, I don't think I've seen anything on the basketball court that Posey does not do well. I think bends, runs, shoots, the ability to convert with the left hand on the move, been outstanding.
I think the one thing, or one of the things that he's going to need to work on if he expects to play at the next level is that perimeter shot. He's not really an outstanding perimeter shooter.
But he's better than last year. I think that's a great point. Fry influenced that shot. Xavier takes over. 2:10 to go. Up by 9. No hurry now for the Musketeers. Cat and mouse time now.
Oh, what an athletic play by McAfee.
How did he do that? Fry, 3 points, no good. Didn't need it, though, with 1:50 to go.
And by the shot clock was running down, they needed something.
Prosser just hammered the seat. And they're going to get the ball right back.
Now that was not a good pass.
71-62. Brown and Posey have led the way tonight. Lumpkin and Price, the contribution's not quite as big.
Lumpkin has struggled in terms of shooting the ball, but he did a nice job defensively tonight. He did a nice job getting the ball to people in scoring position. A few assists for Lumpkin.
There's Lumpkin right now guarded by Lucas. Brown over to Lumpkin. He goes baseline. Tough drive, and he scores. Oh, boy, you can see how these guys have been champions playing in high school and college for so many years. Lucas, deep rainmaker, and Fry goes to get it. He's fouled.
Not really much choice for Virginia Tech at this point in time. You might say, well, gee, why is he shooting the ball from that far away? But Virginia Tech struggles to score. He had an opening. He's the best shooter. He's got to give it a try. A disappointed Bobby Hussey because his team, again, played very, very well defensively. Their problem in the first half was inability to make free throws and some turnovers. And then in the second half, Xavier just got its offensive game going, and Virginia Tech, still sputtering on offense, wasn't able to stay in it.
Some of the fans here at Castle Coliseum starting to reach for the car keys. With 1:16 to go, Bobby Hussey's club down by 11. You see Andre Ray with his head down. Fry at the line. Boy, he shoots a line drive.
He is
73%. And coming up immediately following our game, highlights of Super Bowl 22, Washington against Denver. Game in San Diego back in 1988.
Fry now has 12 points in the basketball game. So Xavier with multiple guys in double figures again.
Whaley in the game. Inside they go. Partially blocked was Roberts, but a foul. He'll go to the line with 1:05 to go. Roberts has got 10 points.
Dave, you don't want to foul Roberts in this position, but Posey not willing to let anything go by uncontestedly on the inside.
Roberts has been a misadventure at the line this year, 45%. Last year he was at 57%, which looks pretty darn good right now.
Oh, and Whaley steps in, and
boy, a lot of little things have not built a very good package here tonight for the Hokies. Roberts,
Number 42.
have points tonight.
Dave, Virginia Tech plays with such great intensity, and they do such a wonderful job on the defensive end. The game's pretty hard if the ball doesn't go in the basket consistently.
Lumpkin draws a crowd and draws a foul with a minute to go. For Xavier, defending champions in the Atlantic 10, they're at Duquesne, St. Bonaventure, and GW at home, and at Fordham. And you look at that group, you figure if you're Xavier, some games that they should be able to get, although I know they always have a war with George Washington.
And Fordham much better this year than people anticipate.
Oliveris having a fabulous year, co-player of the week in the Atlantic 10. Lumpkin a good trip with 2 free throws. He's got 10.
I'll tell you what, though, Dave, if Xavier can get those kinds of shooting that they had against Rhode Island that they had in stages here in the second half, and get some consistent play on the inside as Lucas drills that one, they're going to be really tough to beat in the A-10.
Lucas showed a lot of heart tonight. 17 points and 5 of 11 shooting, but it's going to come up short. They're down by 10. Back here, Blacksburg, Virginia, campus of Virginia Tech, 77-67. Musketeers lead the Hokies, final 51.1 seconds. Coming up, Super Bowl 22 highlights. Immediately following our broadcast, Washington and Denver from January of 1988. And they foul Posey. Lucas with the foul, and that'll be his 4th. 17 for Dunlop, 17 for Lucas to lead the way for Virginia Tech. Brown with 24 tonight, 18 for Posey. Here's Tech's upcoming schedule. Spend about 6 days in Philadelphia to take on the Hawks and the Explorers, and then back home for the Bonnies, and then at the Flyers on the 21st. Strong game for Posey. 19 points, 6 of 11 shooting. Good day at the line where he's 7 of 8. Got 8 boards, 2 assists.
Pretty good job by Xavier on the boards. Virginia Tech came in out-rebounding its opponents by almost 7 rebounds a game, but Xavier actually holds the rebounding edge in the game with 33-31. And as we mentioned earlier, that's a place where Xavier has been hammered by some teams.
Fry leads, very productive, 12 points, 4 of 8 shooting, 2 of 3 from long range, and 8 boards.
I think those 8 boards, that's even more important as, boy, McAfee goes flying into the scorer's table. You certainly don't want anybody hurt at any point in the game, but not with 41 seconds left in the game that's already been decided.
Best news, he got up smiling. Actually, best news, he got up. Gravy that he was smiling.
Posey doing it all.
Kept it in play. 4 blocks for Xavier, 7 for Virginia Tech.
And Whaley was in the game to foul, and he got his money's worth right there.
Yes, he did.
No, but to get back to Fry for a moment, Skip Prosser real pleased, of course, to get 12 points out of Fry, but from that combination of Fry and Obi Harris, Skip Prosser really needs some strong rebounding, and with 8 rebounds, Fry really stepped up to it tonight.
How about this at the line? 22 of 27 this evening for Xavier. Here's the ball in each shot. Mims turns and faces. Rebound to Lumpkin. They couldn't foul him, so it'll take some more time off the clock.
Mims, who had 5 points off the bench in the first half, has not scored in the second half, and that's been another factor for Virginia Tech. Just not able to get it done offensively, but that's been the story of the season thus far for Bobby Hussey and his troops.
That'll do it. Lenny Brown led the way. He had a big second half explosion. 18 points to blow this one open. And Xavier defeats Virginia Tech for the 5th straight time. Virginia Tech goes to 5-6, 0-2 in the conference. Xavier 10-4, 2-0 in the Atlantic 10. Our final score, Xavier wins it by the count of 80-67. For Dan Bonner, I'm Dave Sims, and for our entire crew, thanks for joining us from Blacksburg, Virginia. Coming up next, Super Bowl 22 highlights, Washington.